Morning, everyone. We'll get started with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dr. Folk, would you give the prayer?
Yes. Lord, we thank you today for your help. You've extended to us that if we would look to you and trust you and not lean on our own understanding, but to look to you and find your help, that you would hear us and that you would make our way straight. Today we pray for the commissioners. We pray that your wisdom would just be their portion. Lord, we pray that our county would prosper, that wisdom would flow out into all the departments, and that there would just be just a real freedom and just a great time. You know, it wouldn't be sour and hard, but it would be joyful. So have your way today. Lead them as they take on the business of the day. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
I've read the minutes and I make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bills. Move that we pay the bills in the amount of $369,495.86. That's my motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I've got 2 abatements.
You have a total on,
I didn't add them, but it's around $50.
was it 43, one, the 20, their change orders, 2021, 173, 2021, 174. One's for $43.36. The other one's for $5.28. Are both refunds?
Yes.
That's my motion.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Sheriff's report.
Sheriff's report is total prisoners 38, 12 releases this past week, total prisoners in 38, farmed out 0, total farmed in 19, 183 911 calls, 2,823 jail contacts, total calls for service 451, civil service papers 12, new cases open 15, cases closed 9, 4 vehicle crashes, 98 SRO activities, 127 bailiff activities, 9 livestock out.
I do have all 3 of the voting delegate forms now that we need for KAC meeting this fall. We've got KAC, K-Camp, and K-Work. The KAC, they want a voting delegate and 2 alternates. K-Camp and K-Work each want 1 delegate and an alternate. So I know who you guys wanted to appoint to that. The meetings are, I believe they start October 17th. I have to look at the calendar to, whatever that Monday is. So I didn't know who all was planning on going or how you wanted to handle that.
It's up at the convention, up at
And
same place.
yeah, Overland Park at the convention center. Yeah, it's October 17th through the 19th.
17th and 19th?
Yeah.
I plan on going to them, so. I'm not staying there.
So that's a Monday. That's when we usually cancel our meeting, postpone our meeting that week.
Typically, we would if everybody's going and we wouldn't have quorum, yeah.
I'm going, of course. You going?
Yeah, I'm planning on.
All right. So,
So how do you want to handle voting? The KAC will be during the day. K-Camp and K-Work are evening meetings.
So you'll be there?
I'll be there, yeah. I've run the
We
K-Camp.
have to have two for each of them, too?
2 for each of them, and then we need 3 for the KAC.
can you vote or not?
Yeah, it just has
There
to
you
be an
go.
elected official.
See how I sucked him in?
Will we have another person there?
Well, I mean, you guys and me, and I'm not sure who else is going yet.
What, so say that one more time on the dates.
The 17th through the 19th of October. So it's roughly a month away.
It's KAC, or
Yeah, KAC, the annual conference.
All right.
Let me bring up the agenda here and I can tell you when the business meeting is. Which day. So, okay, so the annual business meeting for KAC is from 7:30 to 8:30 on Tuesday, the 18th. So that would be when we need voting delegate for that one. And the K-Camp and K-Work business meetings start at 5:30 on Monday, the 17th.
So can we vote on all of them at one time and be done with it? Like somebody does the primary and you do the alternate or whatever it's called?
However you guys want to do it, but KAC, we need 2 alternates.
Okay.
But one vote, you can do it all if you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do it once, I'll do it.
Okay. I'll make a motion that, we allow Jim Johnson to be the primary and David Lamb to be the alternate along with Danny. Yeah. Yes.
can you send that agenda over to the email? Are you able to do that, or the dates or something to?
Yeah.
That's my motion.
I'll second it. Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I'll fill these forms out while we're here today, because I think on the K-Camp and K-Work, it takes the chairman's signature. The KAC is just my signature, but I'll get them filled out.
And which night is it on the evening?
Monday evening.
Monday evening? Okay, I got a meeting, but I think it's Tuesday evening, but that'll be fine.
KAC's at 7:30 to 8:30 or something?
7:30 to 8:30 on Tuesday morning for the KAC.
Is it the same place it was when it's done out down by the plat? Is it?
It's Overland Park Convention Center, just like College Boulevard right in there.
Have anything else, David?
I think that's all I've got for now.
MR?
Good morning, Galen Anderson with AMR. At this point in the month, we're at 35 transports by ambulance. And the last 7 days, we've had 20 transports by ambulance. The paramedic and EMT that we hired recently are finishing up their orientation shifts this week. And then we have one full-time paramedic from our sister operation in Topeka, Kansas, that's interested in transferring to Linn County. And so we'll be interviewing her this week to consider that transfer, which would potentially fill the remaining open position. So things are moving forward pretty well from a staffing standpoint. I don't think I have anything else to report.
You guys got anything for him?
No.
All right, have a good week.
Thank you.
Randy?
Good morning, Commissioners. Weekly run totals, we had 4 grass fires, 4 medical assists, 1 motor vehicle with no injuries, and a brush grass fire mixture. 11 total incidents, brings our yearly total up to 387. One of the grass fires was we went to Bourbon County and assisted them. It was just into Bourbon County, ended up burning right up to the county line on Friday. I've been working with Morgan over at the clerk's office on recruiting and retention for the fire department. We have some events coming up at different communities. September 17th in Parker, October 1st in Pleasanton, and October 8th at the Arts and Crafts Festival. We're going to be handing out little flyers during the parades, get some fire trucks in the parade, but we're going to be walking along, handing out some flyers with some information about the fire department, try to help with the recruiting. Maybe one more parade that will come along that we'll be doing that at. You guys are more than welcome, walk along, hand out those with us. But other than that, I have nothing.
I've got a letter here, Randy, came from one of your board members. I'll read it. Please accept the letter as notice of my resignation as a member of the Linn County Rural Fire District #1 Board of Directors. It's been an honor to serve on the fire board. I hope I have done it justice. I fully support the fire board, the employees, and the awesome volunteers that make up one of the best volunteer fire departments in the state of Kansas. I thank you for the privilege to serve. It's Don Prophet, and I think he's been on a long time.
Yeah. So you guys need to appoint somebody in his spot for that
Is he
district.
well,
District 1 is what.
He's a non-firefighter representative from District 1, I think.
Okay.
From Danny's district, is that one?
that's me.
Is it,
He lives over in my district.
Says
Yeah.
District 1.
yeah, it's, well, I think
Well, it's
he's,
fire district number.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mission district, he's
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just need, you want to find somebody?
see,
Oh, actually, I do have a guy that's interested. We could probably go ahead and appoint him. I can text him, but we can probably do it by the end of the day. He's called me twice over it.
okay, this would be a non-firefighter, so.
Oh, non-firefighter.
Yeah.
It'd probably be appropriate to have a motion to accept that resignation.
That'd be right.
I'll make a motion, to accept the resignation of Don Prophet.
So,
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Don has served on there a long time, from the beginning of the board, and has done a great job, so.
That's it that I have. Lynn and I are scheduled to be out of town at a conference starting tomorrow morning till Friday. I may try to come back a little bit so we're not leaving the office empty with both of us being out of town.
Where are we at on the committee that you're redoing?
We had a department head meeting that had everybody that had has committees. And so kind of met and went over some bylaws and different things. And I think they're going to give a report on that later. So just going through that. And, but
Trying to set a meeting up before the end of the year.
yeah, where the LEPC meeting is set. And I think Danny was the representative.
How many people have you got a full committee?
So on that, there's 16
Okay.
that have received the email.
Does this include the cities? Is that what it does?
Yeah,
Part of it?
this includes the cities.
Okay.
And we sent an email out late last week saying, hey, this is our scheduled meeting in October and waiting to hear back. We've heard back from some of them we've heard back from, and they're no longer in that position. So we're trying to get other people filled in that position. So, but that's where we stand on that LEPC.
that's from Linda, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
We just went off the existing roster that they ended with.
Well, if you don't have committee members and they're supposed to be on a committee, then the commissioner should be voting them in.
Well, in some cases, it's a person who's like the city clerk of this city is on,
Yeah.
whoever it
But we
is.
still need to identify it.
You need to identify them, but they're automatic as far as.
Yeah, and So don't confuse the LEPC with like the fire board. The
No,
LEPC,
I'm well aware of what we
the
don't have.
LEPC, we're required by state statute to have some certain.
Don't you have some from individuals from the schools too?
Yeah.
Right. But some of those are required by the state statute. It's saying, hey, this person has to be
Right.
on and stuff. So,
We want them identified, and
Yeah.
we've dropped the ball on that thing completely.
right. Anything else?
No.
Okay. I can forward you a list of.
Yeah, please.
All right.
Thanks, Randy. Missy?
Last week, our totals were, we did 11 COVID tests, 4 family planning, 1 hemoglobin, 4 immunizations, 3 TB skin tests, and WIC had 21. This week, we will be doing on Thursday a sibling class at the Lacey Library at 9:30, and it's for any expectant mom that has going to have a brother or sister, and so they can come and learn about how to take care and how to help mom, what to do with the baby, and they'll get a little book that talks about having a brother or sister. And then Friday night at the Baptist Church, there's Ladies' Night Out. And
Here? Where Baptist Church?
First Baptist Church, in between here and Pleasanton.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
It'll be 5 to 7:30, and it is for women that will be promoting women's health that night. So, and they can register either through the health department's Facebook page, and it'll lead you to a link. And if you can't figure it out, you can just call the health department, and we can get them registered. I think we've got 12 set up so far. I think we've got gonna have a good turnout. So, any ladies are interested, they can.
Is it Facebook? Is that how you're promoting it, or is it in the newspaper as
Well,
well?
Facebook, and then I think, I don't know, they usually put stuff in there for us.
Okay.
And hopefully, Amanda's working on our website, trying to get it up to date and, everything correct. That's times and dates and all that.
Good.
How's your new board going? You guys meeting or?
We did not meet last time, because I had death in my family, so I canceled it, so we'll meet in October.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
What about your awning project there? Have you guys,
I just talked about that, and he's getting me some, what'd you say, you had 4 people that are interested, so we're just waiting. I've got to get Jessica something today, and he has 4 that are interested in working on it, so I'm just getting her those numbers, and she'll get it out, and hopefully we'll get it done.
thank you.
What's that?
I said, thank you.
Oh, okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Nope. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Jessica?
Good morning, Jessica Hightower, Economic Development. I've got a couple of things this morning. First of all, we have had an employee, a county employee, ask about the ROS program. He believes he will qualify for the student loan repayment assistance portion of the program and wanted to know if we would sponsor him. We've been a ROS, it's Rural Opportunity Zones is the program. It's through Commerce. We have signed, since I believe 2014, we've signed up so that employers in the county can participate, but we have not dedicated any funds to it. So we would have to, if we were going to sponsor this employee, we would have to set aside some funds for the program. So the way the student loan repayment assistance works is that the person who's applying for the program has to be a fairly new Kansas resident. They had to have been out for, so they have to have moved in after July 1 of 2011. They have to hold a degree. They had to have actually finished their degree. They have to have an outstanding student loan balance in their name. They have to be able to provide proof of residency, and they have to have a sponsor. So the program will repay up to $15,000 worth of the student loans. The person with the loan makes the payments throughout the year. At the end of the year, they submit proof of payment and they get reimbursed from the state. It's $15,000 over 5 years, so it's $3,000 a year that they get reimbursed. Or if they have less than $15,000, it'll be whatever 20% of their loan total over 5 years per year. The employer puts in $1,500 a year, and the state puts in $1,500 a year. So we would be sponsoring them at $1,500 per year for 5 years, up to 50. Yeah, right, exactly.
Didn't we budget to put money aside?
No, we approved it. We just opted in, right?
We opted in at $0.
So it's been around for years, this
Yes.
plan, and former commissioners didn't want to do anything with it. I think it's a super plan. It really helps. Is he going towards a degree that would help the
I believe
county?
he already has the degree.
He has the degree and he
You
wants
have
to be
to
paid
have
back.
the degree before you
Right.
can enroll in the program. So
Okay.
he can't be enrolled in school now.
I'm for it. I think it's a good opportunity for someone that leaves and comes back or is out of the area and then comes to our area to
Right.
be employed. If it's
How
a,
long do, they would have to continue working for us to keep that? Is it just a deal?
They have to stay, well, if they leave,
Per
then
year,
we
right?
don't, we stop supporting them. I don't know, I mean, the RAWS program itself does not have if they move out, they have to repay us. They don't have any clause like that. I don't know if we could start one ourselves.
I don't think you want to, because they're going to have to be here at least a year to get the first payment,
Right.
so. It'd be hard to hold them being long as that.
So we'd really be putting $1,500 in a year? Is that what you said?
For this one employee. If you want to contribute more and open that up for other employees, we can do that too.
I'm good with it.
I believe that we'll have to do a new resolution at the end of the year. It used to be July 1 to June 30th was their year, but I think they changed it to January 1st. So we can start in the new calendar year at the new resolution. We don't have to put money in now. And then at the end of the year, the employee would submit to the state proof of payment, and the state would reimburse the employee.
and I think it's a good thing because it helps the county bring back or keep really good employees that are trying to better themselves, better their career. And if we seek an engineer or whatever later on down the road, and somebody may come back qualified for that, and that may be a part of a reason why they would sign on with us as well. It's a good program. A lot of counties don't have it.
Right.
Uh,
We have one.
More
other-
do than don't, but nobody hardly uses it.
Right. We have one other employer in the county who is utilizing the program. They are sponsoring their employees. But we haven't put any money towards the program. And I believe that if
Does the school districts do that for their
one of
teachers?
the, one
Okay.
of the school districts that's doing
I
it.
would think that would.
So I believe that when we pay the check in, they hold it for our employee. They do that. But then I think if the employee leaves before they get reimbursed, the county can get those funds back. It doesn't just go into a pot.
Okay.
So you need a motion authorizing you to move forward to.
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we authorize Jessica to opt in with $1,500 a year. Is that
With the ROS program.
was my motion? For the next 3 years, right?
5.
5 years.
What's the individual's name?
It's Stephen Sage in the clerk's office.
Okay. I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I recently became a member of SEK Incorporated, which is they work with the Prosperity Foundation and SEK Regional Planning Commission. All three kind of work together to fill in gaps that the counties in the Southeast Kansas region have. SEK Inc. focuses on housing and secondary education. They kind of fell off and quit they weren't as involved, but they've hired a director now, so she's really pushing to get everybody back on board. So I've rejoined that organization. They would like me to join the Southeast Kansas Housing Coalition, which is under the umbrella of SEK Inc. So I would need appointed to that committee, unless you want someone else on it.
Nobody's sitting on it right now?
No, it's a brand new committee.
Oh, Brandon.
That's consistent with your other stuff that you're.
Yes, it
working
is.
on With housing.
Yes.
What's the name of it?
Southeast Kansas Housing Coalition.
I'll make a motion that we allow Jessica to sit on that.
I'll second. Moved second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And then I need just 5 minutes of executive time for trade secrets. Whenever you have time.
5 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That's all I have today. Do you have anything for me?
No, thank you.
Thanks.
thanks. Darren?
Darren Wilson, Planning Zoning Director. The deadline for the, the deadline for bids for new zoning regs was Friday. I received 2 bids that I want to present to you guys.
How do we do this? Just open these up just like normal and?
Yep.
Go ahead.
You probably want to open up, take a look at them, and then have Darren go through them and compare them. And
Big sealed when you read it.
Yes, to see if we can get it open.
I think there should be
Yes, that's the company that we use
a comprehensive plan.
for the comprehensive plan.
Yes. I think there should be copies for everybody.
Yeah, looks like it's the same thing everywhere. I just seen them.
yeah, I think they were asked to provide like 8 or 14 copies or something like that.
Yes.
Find the sheet of the bid.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is, maybe.
So I put down on our RFP that, then the contract negotiations and to be awarded's not till October 12th.
Have we worked with either one of these before?
It's
Or,
not ETS company,
okay,
is it?
okay.
So what you want to take it, you want to make sure everybody that needs a copy has it, you look it over and then discuss it and then negotiate with them because they're, this is not a sealed bid per se. This is
Yeah, I
a
see.
proposal.
What's he got?
So their proposals may vary as to what they cover.
Is it cheaper?
So they had the IBTS bid, I can,
Yeah.
okay. Looks like maybe the total cost for this average 21,000. What was yours? What's the company?
Cop law office.
What's this here? This says 21 here, and then it says total 21 plus expenses.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that'll be spelled out in the
Exactly.
proposal. Why don't, can I get a copy of the proposals and then,
Well, look at-
Mine says, it talks about, it says total fees and expenses, and then it has another line item for consultation only.
So I asked for 2 separate deals in the RFP. I asked for just, a person to sit with us and help us, and then I asked for a, to do the whole thing.
what's the name of the law? KAUP.
Can we keep a copy of this or give you one back, or is it?
I think you need to each take one and study them over.
Yeah, I think there's,
So you've talked to these on the phone, these individuals?
I've not spoke to them
Okay.
since they sent the proposals in.
You got another one of these?
Yeah.
And then whatever you got left, give them back to Darren and
Look at
he can
them.
have his committee look at them.
Like I said, we don't, negotiations and to be awarded, it's not till November or October the 12th. I don't know if we want to, how you want to proceed, if you want to review them for a period of time and I'll come back, or,
That's what I would,
Read them over and look.
yeah, I think you should read them over, let him, let the planning and zoning board look them over, see what they think. Maybe when's their next meeting?
Tuesday,
Good.
tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. So if he can give them a copy tomorrow
Do it next Monday.
and then maybe then they're going to need to have some time to look it over probably. So you probably 2 weeks from today, that's what I'd say.
Okay.
That's within your time frame, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got till, like I said, October 12th. So,
So if he gives it to them tomorrow, they have a week to look it over and get back to him with any thoughts. And then 2 weeks from today, then, have feedback for you. And that'd still give you a week or two then to make your decision.
anything else? Thank you.
That's all you have?
That's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Sean?
Sean West, Public Works Administrator. Start with Jeremy. I asked him to come up to explain some bids on the mechanic's truck. This set of bids is going to be a little different because we went out for pricing on the top half of this motor and learned from several technicians that we could rebuild the top half and we have the pricing for it. But you're talking about a motor that's probably run its life cycle according to the technicians we're talking to. So we went back out and got bids for the total project, the rebuild on the motor, and I'll let him explain those to you.
Okay, so we went and took the truck over to Oates now, not Cox's, but Oates because it threw a fit and sounded like something went through the turbo. And it did. The turbo came apart, and they said there's a couple of injectors that came apart. So I was talking to them and talked to a few others, and they say that it's got right at 180,000 on it in the truck. And they said that the motors are known for being bad. So they didn't recommend putting a new turbo and new injectors in it. They said honestly, they said they probably wouldn't put the money in it unless they were just going to put a new motor in. Because, I think the bid was, what was it, 8,300 or something for a new turbo and new injectors to put in it. Was that right? So they said they wouldn't recommend putting the 8,300 in a motor.
So you did get the price for the rebuild or new crate engine or what?
Yes.
What's that price?
Well, I went out and got prices for a complete drop-in motor. That means turbo, injectors, new hoses, new everything. Just pull the old one out and stuff this one in and done. So I went out and.
Where did you go?
Well, I went to Oates. I went uptown here to A1, and I went to up by the Worlds of Fun, up Parvin. What's that? Midway Ford. And then I went to up in Olathe. There's a commercial Ford. We got a bid from them. And let's see here. Yeah, this one here is from Olathe Ford, the commercial side. And they subtotaled at 18,000 for the complete job. And that's with a 2-year warranty, unlimited miles. And they have the motor in stock. And that was a problem too. I've called companies to figure out if we could get a reman motor. Maybe I could just put it in. But a couple of the remanufacturers said they'll build the motor and they'll do it just like they do every other motor, but they will not put a warranty on it because they have a bad reputation.
And is this just pick up the motor or is it installed?
This is installed. That's out the door. We take it to them and that's out the door.
Did you get any more bids like that from anybody else?
Yes, I got 4 of them.
Go ahead.
This one here was Midway Ford, and their final bid was $21,295.22. And then the A1 Uptown is 19.5, and then Oaks over in Pleasanton was 19,907.56. That was for the motor. Or just fixing it. That was the bid fixing it.
Yeah.
So your low bid was Olathe
Ford.
Ford.
Yes, in the commercial side. And they said they just got one. They just did one last week or week before, because it's been a week probably. So, and they said they had the motor in stock. And if we need to, they will, as soon as they know something, they will credit that motor straight to.
When you got the bids too, Jeremy, on the, just the top part, 8,000 or whatever that
I
was?
just got the one because.
Just got the one from the one,
Took it over there. to
then you
figure out.
changed, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And I mean, you've got it right here from Oaks, if you
Yeah.
want to see it.
No, I don't want to see it.
So,
Truck don't have any other mechanical issues or, I mean,
well, it's got some front end, it's got a tie rod that's loose, and I've got all the parts to fix that, but before I got it fixed, it went
So
down
like
on
the
me.
Ford, the commercial side too, you recommended with a 2-year warranty, unlimited miles.
Well, I mean, they're the cheapest bid, and everybody's bidding the same exact motor, so, and that truck, you gotta have a lift to pull the cab off of it. You gotta pull the cab up to put the motor in. Otherwise, you gotta have a little skinny guy. So, he said as soon as we get it up there, he'll credit that motor to that bill. That way it's done. And he said turnaround time should be pretty quick on it.
This is your big tool truck, right?
Yeah, my shop truck. And I mean, I kind of looked, I thought, well, if we're going to spend roughly 20,000 on motor, I'll look for a truck and maybe we can get a used truck, but you can't touch them trucks. I mean, you'll have to add 15 on that pretty easy.
What is that? Is it a 550 or 450 or what is
It's a
it?
550. You'll have to add, you're looking at 35, 40,000 for a new used truck.
Sounds like something we got to do.
Cause I would.
Doesn't Lacine have a truck too?
Yeah, they got an old.
Do they use it?
Yeah, they use it quite a bit. It's an older one.
So
And I
why,
believe it's got the older 7.3 before they had come out with the new 6.0s and 6.4s and,
I didn't even know you used those. I thought they would just sit in there.
No, I'm pretty sure they use
I
it.
thought they hobbled back to the shop and you fixed them that way.
Well, I do until they got a flat tire on the road grader or something like that. They need
I got you.
the haul and a crane to pick up the tire because
I got you.
Should we do it? Should we do an allowance up to 20,000?
I think
You know
on
how-
the bid, they estimated any other unexpected repairs to be at least another 500. So I would go at least 18.5 is what their total allows for unexpected.
if that's where
You
you
okay with it?
decide you want to take it.
yeah, fix it. I mean,
You want to put a Band-Aid on it?
You can put a Band-Aid on
No,
it,
I'm just kidding. I'm just
get
kidding.
rid of it.
I think we should do an allowance up to 20,000 because just like the semi and everything come back and it's always,
Yeah.
Well, the complication for this is not only do you rebuild the top half and then throw money in the bottom half later on, but
shouldn't
then
be doing that, 'cause
availability,
we're taking
and
bids.
it came down to three different things that we looked at, another used truck. But I think this is the best solution, and I think you're right. We need to add a little bit.
I think he's
because
recommended
We do run into
18.5.
some other issues, but I think this is going to be the cheapest option.
Danny, I think you should keep it at 18.5 because you got 3 bids lower than that. You don't want to jump over it. Just, that'd be my reason.
I'd make a motion that we allow up to $18,500 to replace the engine in Jeremy's tool truck.
Allowing it to be done at Olathe.
Yeah. I'd like the for you. That's my
Second.
Been moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Yep.
I can get her fixed.
Last week, I had 3 invoices show up that I was unfamiliar with. I talked to the shop foremans. These are 3 invoices from CenturyLink for cut fiber cables in right-of-ways. After talking to the shop foremans, it appears that one of the 3, we did actually do work without a locate far enough down, and are probably going to have to look into that invoice. The other 2 were south shop, and I'm being told we either didn't do work in those areas, or the work we did in those areas was not 24 inches deep and the line wasn't properly buried in the first place. So I'm going to call back and work that out with them. So, but the one invoice that I am looking at is for, that I do now have an accident report on, and I gave to David, was 400 west 2100 Road in Parker. And that invoice is for $2,032.09.
Should we find out why we didn't do it? Were you just being lazy or what?
I did investigate it. I've got an accident report, and I'm going to continue to follow up with that situation.
Thank you.
Randy talked a little bit about us meeting on the committee recommendations, and we got the department heads together. I think Jessica may have sent you an email on that as our next step. We've kind of tried to keep it so that we make one recommendation, and so there's not, Gary doesn't have to sort through 5 emails. So we've all sent it through Jessica. Jessica's sent it to Gary, and then we're hoping that there'll be some feedback between you and Jessica, and we can do whatever we need to. But that,
If you want to standardize committees and maybe think about term limits on them and so forth. And so they're the staff people that deal with the committees. So I asked them to get together, to come up with some kind of a standard approach that we could apply. And so they have come back with some thoughts. So I'll be sorting those through. And
Do we have anything as far as what their obligation is or what their authority on these boards are? I mean, there's some people.
they're all a little different.
That's what I mean. There's some people question that, listen, what is,
I gave
What is
you
it?
the initial list that kind of showed a little bit about their terms. And we're now, my next step is to develop a list that goes beyond that, talk about what each board does.
a description of what's it?
Yeah, we'll get you that soon. Okay, felt like we needed to really think this through and not just
Yeah.
slop something out.
And some of them have bylaws and all that anyway.
Some
Some
do,
don't.
some don't.
Yeah.
We talked about the possibility of a model set of bylaws for all the committees to follow.
and that's, I think, after Gary reviews it, if he passes it back, we'll have another staff meeting, and we'll try to keep it that way so it doesn't get convoluted.
How
And
many committees do you have, Randy, total? You got the fire board, the LAPC, that's it, the 2, and you have any? You have economic development?
And the child care action committee, and
Okay.
Karen has 1, and Missy has 1, and the 5 of us, which, well, 4 of us was shown, 5 total. Exactly.
And some of them, we may have a house.
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
Yeah,
so
okay.
that's where we're at with that. And whatever Gary gets back to Jessica, she'll call us all together and we'll meet again and try to get the feedback back so that we bring you one recommendation.
And Sean, I'd ask you too, since we're looking at this, we're taking our time on this to do this right, the way it needs to be done, is the board staff, is the staff, the committee, is it enough people on the committee? Is it the right setup? So if Linn Valley and Lacey and Mountain City, whoever is supposed to be represented in whatever committee, do we have the proper representation, or do we need to change that?
Reevaluate the committee post
Yeah.
and members.
And I just asked Randy that for his board, the LAPC. I realized that how many people are, none of them's really appointed. They're all definitely there because of the position they hold. But is there anybody else that we need to put on that committee as well, and economic development or whatever? So we can get this down, get it straight, and everybody knows I served this many years and I come off. And maybe if you determine that they can come back on later on in life, 3 or 4, 1 term later or 2 terms later or whatever. And then we need to publish that on the website so people can see who's on the committees and what's their years of expert till they come off. I think that's important to people because it allows new people in the county to have the opportunity to serve. And that's important.
We will certainly continue to work on that with Jessica and Gary communicating, and then as a group, we'll pull together and try to get that recommendation back to you quickly. Okay, we had some issues, and they've been worked out at the new facility, several throughout the building, but there was some water issues. The jail and the sheriff took care of some of it. And then we've got worked with the contractors, and they've taken care of the rest. And this is just issues of supports, vibrating other joints and things. It wasn't anything major, but we did spend part of the week working on that. And I know Chris is working with other vendors in other areas, getting things taken care of. So we're still spending a little time on that, but from what I understand, it's been responsive and we're getting communication and things taken care of and knocking them off the list. The 600 road traffic study that you agreed to last week has been taken care of. The only thing that hasn't been done is as soon as we get the bucket truck up, we'll clear the limbs that were part of that recommendation for that study. And I have a resolution for you with 2 other signs that need to be implemented.
This is the one we talked about
Last week.
I wanted to redo the resolution. One of them is the stop sign on westbound traffic on 1,000 Road where it intersects Reed Road. The other is a yield sign for westbound traffic on 950 Road where it intersects Osborne Road. I think we're ready to install those.
There was only one resolution number on here, Sean.
One resolution.
You did it under one resolution? Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept this resolution 2022-29 for these 2 control signs at 950 and Osborne and 1,000 and Reed. That's my motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Did we ever get anywhere on the flashing lights on right there at Tucker Road or is it Tucker? Tucker and 52.
I believe what we determined was that we have to ask Kevin. Kevin checked into it with the state, and I brought you an answer back, but I can't remember what
Oh,
it
it
was,
was?
because that's been more than a month ago, so. But I believe the state was not open to putting flashing lights when that deal, they said if we wanted to. I'll have to remind you.
The only thing else I had on my list was a check on the an update on the legal we had last week to find out if I needed to do anything else with it. And I don't know if we need to go to legal to discuss it, or that was going to be the proposal that we were going to make.
Here we go.
Oh, I've got something for.
I didn't know.
Review, and we'll need to, there's legal aspects to it that I need to do in executive session.
Okay, so that is the only thing I had left,
So you'll take
unless
executive session on that, okay.
unless you have anything for me.
We have that road and bridge, or the bridge inspection, is that every year?
Every 2 years. In critical,
When's that coming along? Is that coming up?
it just occurred. I just have the new reports on my desk now.
Did they include what Rick was talking about, the guardrails, that if it wasn't a certain depth from the creek or whatever, we didn't have to have the rails on the,
They don't necessarily make recommendations on those. I'm hoping that the local bridge projects that we're talking about, some money coming down the pike, and I'm hoping that those projects will better address that. The engineers are looking at not what can be done, but the structural integrity of what is there. So pretty much they give us an update on the status of the structure
But
that's
our own
there.
engineer that goes out and does your bridges for us now, the ones that we contract from time to time,
Yes.
they can't tell you if those wing walls can be lowered, cut off.
Our on calls,
Yeah.
I will check again, but I don't believe the emails that I've sent on those and on One Road have been answered yet. They're knocking things off the list, like the traffic studies and things, but I haven't got anything back on those yet. And yes, I've asked those
How
questions.
many of those, there's several of those bridges, isn't there? Or is there just,
Four to my knowledge that we were looking at.
Yeah.
Now, I am positive there are others that would be in that same category, but four that we had discussed.
and just for everybody's knowledge, the wing wall I call is the concrete.
guardrail?
Yeah, it's about,
Probably has something to do with how high they
3
are.
feet,
though, right?
yeah,
If it's
yeah.
too high, they gotta remain.
yeah, the
Right.
equipment's can't get through it right now at all.
Well, and the wing wall is actually the walls that hold the front abutment plate. You're talking about the guardrail or
Yeah.
some of the older ones have concrete
And that's why
rails.
there was one in my district that was hit, and I don't know, I can't remember where it's at. I had it in my mind to tell you about it and forgot.
I can ask the road graders. I mean, they pass them constantly. They're going to be able to give
So
me.
you know what I'm
any-
talking about then?
Yes. Yes. Some of them have metal guardrail systems and others have those
High concrete.
older concrete,
Usually they're the one lane bridge.
look like a railing to a bridge.
Yeah.
So, but I'll again address that and see if I can get an
other-
answer to that.
Out there at Waddles Road in the creek, Mine Creek or whatever that creek is right there, when you come around the curve.
Yes, I think that's the one you and I looked at one time. It had some water issues.
Yeah, it's eating all that out. It's about less than a foot from the actual gravel road. I think some kind of metal guardrail or something needs to be put up there.
I'll go check it and then I'll ask our on-call to look at that for a better solution, because I think what we determined is that's going to continue to erode if there's no
Yeah, 'cause
intervention on it.
into it and then
It runs into it and takes the corner and we've got a culvert underneath it at that point. So I'll get out there and then I'll ask the engineers to take a look at it and see if they can come up with a solution to the erosion.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. What do you got, Gary?
Well, let's see, we've got a, request for, reduction of the construction or the debris, CD dumping fees. This is, in Lacey at 109 North Second Street. Property owner is Jackie Cribble. This is a property that has to be torn down because it was actually built on city, partially on city property. And so it sits over on the city, plus it's covered with city sewage. It's gotta be demolished And so, the city is involved in the demolition of it. It meets the requirements for our policy for reduction, and so if you would, willing to do that, need a motion to eliminate those seats.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Got a, see, this is a change order on the building. Now, all this is really is housekeeping. This is adjusting some of the contingency funds within specific line items and consolidating them and putting them into, well, there are $5,900 of this are adjustments to contingency funds and consolidating them with the general contingency fund. $5,700 some extras that were involved in moving. Some places where like our folks moved in, stuck the wall or something like that. There was a little bit of additional painting and stuff that needed to be done. And then $4,400 involves some electrical extras that needed to be done. This, so the change order total $16,166. And I think we're just about to the end of the change order. I think this is wrap it up. So if you're ready to set it, we need to sign that change order.
Is it going next week's bills? Is that what it is?
Actually, we've got
That's a new one.
pay request today.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll be on next time.
Should help me.
Through with that, I want to run through this pay request. What's the page order number on that? Is it there's one? Change order number 18. At this point, most of the things that are being fixed, which, of course, that always happens, most of them are being done not under the construction contract, but rather under the warranty. We're at that point where we're now working under warranty since the building's been handed over. So we've got a year warranty, and we want all those things to get flushed out in that period of time, so.
Back and fixing.
Yeah, they're being real good about it. And we are retaining, still retaining $100,000 as we talked last week in retainage. In fact, this request for payment reflects that $100,000 retainage. It basically, this is request for payment number 24, and it is the other retainages basically being allocated with the $100,000 being kept. So I don't know if you want to look at it or not. It's just, there's nothing to really sign on that, but you will want to approve it at some point, and it'll be in a future bill payment. It totals 800,000 something, but it's what amounts to is the retainage is going
Who
out.
was in charge of the FF&E?
We are.
I know, but was there not anybody over there that overseen it?
The sheriff has been kind of running that. I don't know that he's officially has any responsibility for it, but he has served in many ways as sort of a clearinghouse on it. If I wanted to know what had been done and what hadn't done, he's the person that knows.
Is there a lot of, has a lot of people reached out to you about little small items that need to be done over there?
Nobody's reached out to me.
I think we should reach out, go talk to Chris, Kevin, figure out.
Remember, the FF&E isn't under this contract, though. It's separate.
Well, I know, but I think that
We still retain $124,000 on the FF&E people. which is completely separate from all of this. They're anxious to have their money, but I've told them they can't have it. I'm sorry? I said they're anxious to have their money, but I've told them they can't have it until we're absolutely certain that the entire project's been finished. So we get an email from them about twice a week, don't we, David? I think they are working on getting everything wrapped up, but if anybody has specific complaints, they're not getting them to me. I know that.
Well, it's like this, it says EFIS repairs due to damage by others at main entry. Well, the EFIS is above, that's all stone, right? So how did we mess that up?
I think when they, I don't know for sure. I believe that when they moved in the scanning machine, it did some damage to the entryway. It was much bigger than they anticipated.
$1,700 for that. I think, in my opinion is, I think Kevin and Chris should probably help us be involved in this and going over. I don't know. This is the part of the project that I just,
At this point, you're looking at the change orders, right?
Work's already been done.
Works, yeah, this is work that's been done, and all we're doing there is giving them their retainages.
And you're saying like if something need to be done,
At this point, wouldn't be
no,
under
but I
retainage.
mean, something,
technically.
how did this stuff get done? Who told them to do
So
it?
technically the change order supposed to be signed
The Warren and River City.
if they don't want to.
And they continue. If Warren or Bill are told, here's a problem, then they reach out to these people, to the contractors or the subs, and they come in and fix it. And they're obligated to do that for the next year and have been responding well. So the retainages have nothing to do with that. The purpose of the retainage is to make sure they get the initial job done.
Right.
And they basically got the job done, but then we find little things that need to be corrected.
$16,000 change order.
Huh?
So, but then we get a $16,000.
Well, the change order, yeah, there are, you've got, some electrical extras. These, I don't know exactly what I can't remember.
Did somebody order them though after?
Yeah, Bill and.
But no, not Bill, but I mean, did one of our people say, I need this, it's not there? It's an extra, like, or when they.
Where did the change order come into place?
Well, he's got the detail. I can't, at some point, somebody said, hey, there's something here that needs to be
Like the wall
changed.
needs to be
The-
done. drywall
Yeah,
got-
this receptacle,
It was $4,400 worth of electrical.
I can't remember. I went through them when I first got this last week, but I can't remember what they were now.
Relocate.
What you're wanting to know is the reason why we went and changed the
Yeah.
electrical.
And it's spelled out. I can't remember.
Relocate box and wiring in small court for fire
Chris
damage
would know
install.
that, wouldn't
Well, that's an
Probably.
engineer,
My,
not ours. We didn't tell where the box goes.
Yeah, but for one of our people over there is what I'm saying. Said, hey, I need this done.
Well, I'll see what
Yeah.
you're saying, but we really.
I know, we didn't know about it.
We don't know what happened.
Yeah, we don't know what happened yet.
I mean, there's always paperwork that traces where these changes came from. Usually there'll be it'll start with an email from Bill or Warren to the contractor saying, give us a price for making this change. They come back with a price and then they make the change and then they bill for it. What usually happens.
And this is already work that's completed, so I don't see how you can undo it.
Well, technically, before you do a change order, the owners are supposed to sign off on it. I mean,
But one of the reasons we're a little out of sync on that is because we were pushing to get done, to get in there. I mean, we could have held it up till, say, well, let's don't do this until we get the order signed, but
I mean, I get that, but
It's not going over the cost. It's just available money was there that they knew about.
I don't think
Yeah,
that,
they probably-
I don't think that's what's going on. I really don't, but.
Yeah, well,
at the end of the day, it's about making money.
that's probably what they said. You can probably do that. But I mean, the work's done, so
I know.
we gotta get it done. We can kick the can all we want, but in the end, you're gonna pay the $16,000.
That's just, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of I mean, Gary, I understand, but I mean, east door operator, a circuit for that. I don't understand why we have to pay for that stuff. We didn't screw that up.
Or did
As
we?
I recall, this was one that the way it was set up, it allowed access to, what was the deal? It allowed access to somebody that wasn't supposed to have access, and they had to rewire the circuit to change which group of doors it was hooked up to. They wired it up the way it was planned, but when they actually got into the point where they were operating, they realized that we don't want these guys to be able to get through this door. We want these guys to be able to get through this door. So we had to change it. I think, I don't remember the exact specifics, but as I recall, there were 2 or 3 of those kinds of changes that Chris said, this isn't going to work because it doesn't meet the sheriff's requirements for who has access to this particular location. Those were actually done some time ago, and I brought them to you at the time. I came in, we talked about them with some of the other changes. All of these changes you have at one point or another heard about in some way and said, yeah, that's fine. I may not have broken them down quite like I did today, but what we've been doing is getting your verbal approval for the changes, going ahead then doing the paperwork, ordering them done.
But these are all time and material, though. These are all stuff that. Yeah, these are all T&M
And that way
items.
we let him go talk to,
I think I'd like to talk to Chris about. There's a lot of electrical stuff. Like,
we do that.
That's fine.
I mean, if that's something that.
Hey, can you take it, Danny? Can you take your list?
Well, just be sure I get that back, Danny.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, talk to Chris about it. He will remember the details.
Chris or the sheriff, maybe, in some cases, maybe.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 main people over there.
So, the other thing we had was the, pay request, which you got somewhere. And basically what it's doing is authorizing the payment of the,
$878,000.
right, which is the retainages, except for 100,000.
Except for the 100,000. So I'll make a motion, we, pay the bill, this payment in the amount of $878,210.98. $778,210.98. That's my motion.
That's that's pay order 20, or pay request 24.
That's what the 100,000 retained.
Yeah, that's what we still got.
I'll second it. Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so I'll take that back. I don't think you have to sign that. Somebody has to sign
You're
that.
gonna get with them and look.
Yeah, I think what I'm gonna. Well, yeah. I'm gonna get with Chris and talk to Kevin. I mean, at the end of the day, we're trying to save as much money, and they're trying to make as much money, and it might be a fight of who does, who's responsible for what, and I feel like it's our job to.
I understand.
Did you have anything to do with any of the repairs or anything lately over at the Justice Center? Or is that?
I was there when they did some water.
So Danny talked to him too?
So no action on the change order.
No.
What you watch the contractors work, I guess, is what you're saying.
Yes, they were in secured areas and they had jail staff, didn't have enough people, we had people working at some time. So I went over to a contract.
Okay. Anything
That's all
else?
I had, except for I need 10 minutes of legal, executive session time, and Jessica need 5 minutes for trade secrets.
Need 10 minutes legal, and Jessica needs 5 minutes for trade. So my motion is to go into executive session for 15 minutes.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye. All right.
And no action from executive sessions, so Jessica said you got something else?
I do. We talked about SEK Inc. just a little bit earlier. Because we just joined, they're trying to rebuild their board of directors on SEK Inc. And when their director, Patty Ann Sanborn, was here to talk to me a few weeks ago, she stayed over at Cedar Crest Lodge at Pleasanton, and she was talking with Matt and Laura Cunningham about it. And Matt expressed interest in sitting on their board. I've spoken to him. I spoke to him today. He is still interested in sitting on if we could appoint him as our representative. He is very willing to coordinate with me and make sure that we know what's going on at the board meetings. So I just wanted to run that by you guys. He's pretty good. He would be excellent for a tourist spot on their board because he's runs that B&B over there. So he would be a voice for tourism for Linn County. So I just wanted to get your
And we
thoughts.
currently don't have anybody.
We don't have anybody on that board, no.
How long is this term once you put, is there a set term limit or is it?
No, we can,
New,
I
right?
mean, we can, I don't know if there's a term limit set by the board yet. As I said, they're rebuilding their program.
This is SEK?
SEK Inc., and we can revisit that anytime you like. We can have Matt come in a couple of times and visit with you guys throughout the year to see, so that he can communicate with you on how the board's going. He's willing to do that.
Yeah,
No,
I'm all about it.
as long as he knows he's not staying on it forever. If there's not a board committee set, then we'll set one.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
Motion to appoint him as our representative.
So if you would
And
like.
why do we need, why does county want to have a representative of it? Why?
Well, because if they start bringing in housing programs or secondary education programs, things like that, we want to make sure that we're in on those programs. And if we don't have anybody on the board, we're not going to know what's going on. So I would like to appoint Matt as our board member and then myself as an alternate. That way I can get there.
How often will they meet, do you know?
I believe they're going to meet once a month.
We're at,
I think they're planning on moving it throughout the region, not having one
That's the
specific
12
meeting
counties,
for
right?
12 counties, yep.
so are we reimbursing for mileage or anything on his meetings if they go to Parsons
I
or
have
wherever?
not discussed that with him. If you want to offer that, that's fine, but he
I
didn't
think we
ask
should
for
if
that.
if he's going to represent
Okay.
us. Okay.
What was the name
Mileage,
of
you said?
Yeah.
the committee?
It's the SEK Inc. Board of Directors.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Matt Cunningham as the main person on it.
Our primary
And you
member,
as an
alternate.
for the SEK Housing Inc. Board of Directors. There you go.
Thank you.
With reimbursement for mileage
David said it was standard.
standard? Okay.
That's my motion.
Okay.
I'll second it. Been moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And since they are rebuilding their board, we may have a couple other people to add to that board of directors. I'm not really sure exactly how they're going to do that. But I'll keep you guys informed.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
So Dan, you're gonna go see, Chris about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. I text him. I'm gonna try to just get with him and Kevin real quick, and just ask a few things and
Then
get an update.
if Danny brings it back, and I'm not here, if you're doing your
Evaluation.
evaluation, here, you just want to sign that one line there, I think I marked it. And, then either have David email it to me or something, so I can submit it.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Or I could just walk it across the road and throw it. I could.
If you do, bring it over.
I get mileage for that.
So I guess we're going into executive session for employee evaluations. What are we doing, an hour and a half or 2 hours? 2 hours.
Oh my, really? We need that long? Can we do an hour and a half, see if we're done? We will. Let's do an hour and a half, and if we need 30 more minutes, we'll come out and get it.
So we're gonna do an hour and a half. If we need longer, we'll come back and get it. That's my motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
So I text Chris and Kevin, or yeah, Chris and Kevin both. So when they message me, I'll
Which one is it? What one's it gonna be at night? Yes, it will. Okay, I'll find out.
Are we done? We got boom.
I gotta.
Will they vote early in the meeting, or will it be something that'll be through the meeting, or what is it? Just
K-Camp and K-Workers will each take about half an hour, and it'll be, there may be a couple of folks during the meetings.
okay.
KAC, I think typically there'll probably be half an hour or more discussion before they get to a vote on anything.
Okay. And you'll be at both of them anyway, right?
The evening. Yeah. K-Camp meeting and the state.
Tell us how to vote.
That's right.
Well, one of the votes in that one will be, board members, and I'm up for that again this year.
There you go.
So, you got, I mean, we didn't have any evaluations, so no action, but we met on Thursday with a bunch of us met on Thursday and walked around and, got a pretty decent plan. I don't have all the details on it yet. Kathy and I are kind of going over some plans and stuff, so it's more visual to you guys, so you understand kind of what we're doing, a little more detail. So I'm gonna work on that this week. I'll bring it to you next week. But I went ahead and walked around, the attorney's office too, and this building and the courthouse, just to kind of, get a list of, what repairs we think that are gonna be, huge to us, so we can kind of get our eyes on it. So,
Cool.
so next week I'll have all that to you.
You have no idea what we'll use the attorney building? I mean, is there something anybody's?
We're talking, and we David's his voting stuff that's down in the bottom of the courthouse. He has to have 2 dehumidifiers and stuff, or 1 or 2 dehumidifiers down there to keep the moisture off him. He needs a place where they don't have to bring him all the way around and up, and it'll be. David, do you want to kind of explain? Is it going to be open to the public?
Well, and that's one of the ideas we talked about, is remodel that building to where it could have a couple of spaces separated in it. We could do our storage in the bigger part and have everything all set up where we can work on it right there and not have to drag it in and out. But then have another part that would be more public access and do our advanced voting there too. So I think, provided we could remodel that building the way we needed to, I think we could make that work, and it would clear up a bunch of space for us. And Danny saw it the other day. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the little room in the basement where I've got all my equipment now, but there's like a little path that you can barely walk in there with it. You can't work on anything. And it's down there where it's damp in the basement. It's just a bad place to have it. So we talked about that, and then maybe even the idea of the room next to mine now where we do more of that stuff, kind of redoing our arrangement in the office where maybe we could move 1 or 2 of us into that room for our office space and spread the others out. But that's all stuff we can work on as we go.
So that's kind of the big plan, and then move upstairs over there. They had originally planned to kind of, allow David half of the old courtroom to do his storage thing, but I think it'll save us a lot of money not have to build a complete partition wall across there. We can just they want a like a little conference room for their hearings, for their taxes or whatever. And we can just do 2 walls instead of one all the way across, and just kind of cut in part of that, and they can all be open, and we can put his voting stuff over in that building, and it'll work out pretty good, I think. So I think we got a pretty good plan together. Just getting a few more details.
So you see only the appraisers going into that building?
And mapping.
mapping and appraising.
Yeah, they're gonna.
Yeah, be everybody that's on the second floor.
And there's not a lot of reconstruction, taking demoing one wall out and everything else is cosmetic, painting
Yeah.
and widening one door. And it's not a whole lot of, I sent the paper back over to Kathy. She's putting it on, typing it all up, I think. But, yeah, just taking one wall out. Really, that's all there was. And, miscellaneous floor repair, like matching them or whatever. Not a whole lot of repairs.
And we may have more than that, more extensive repairs on the one I'm looking at
Yeah.
than what we do there.
There's a lot of demoing walls out and just making sure so.
I'm glad we're not turning the attorneys down, because it's gotta have some good use to it. It's a good.
Well, and that's part of when we get it kind of torn out where we can see everything too. We're gonna, make sure we do some inspection on floor joists and roof and all that to make sure it's in good enough shape to keep using too.
Right.
But we'll look at all that. And
So really what, my plan was to get this plan together. Kathy, like I said, she had a floor layout and we got the floor layout of the one, we took it off the wall in there. And so I think we're going to do something with that too.
yeah, I'm gonna try to blow that up into a little bigger piece of paper and where I can make some drawings on
And
it.
kind of would tell us what he wants. And then we can give that to Sean or pass it out to contractors and get bids on exactly what needs to happen. So, the biggest on the courthouse, we'd walk through there and, we do have, I think the temperature change between the basement and the middle floor, there's a few dehumidifiers in there and I think with the, if it's hot outside and the basement's kind of hot, then upstairs being so cold, with all the AC units, window units, I think that's what's causing a lot of moisture. And so I did tell Rick just to go out and talk to a few HVAC guys and get a bid what it would cost to run a complete HVAC system through there. We talked about, I think we just got to get the temperatures more, they got to get closer.
Even to do that, you need because it's on the historic.
Yeah, I'm reaching out, and Jessica's with me too. And she took notes. I'm going to reach out to Rosin, which is a preservation company, and they work with them all the time. And I'm going to try to work close with them and ask them, when I have questions like that. But I don't think it's not really changing the structural integrity of the building or anything like that. I think we can, I think we can cut in small vent holes in the floor. It should be just like drilling up there, push wire up and conduit through it. So, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so I'm going to check in on it. But I don't think, like I said, Rick, let's just go ahead and get the, estimates or get a few guys in here and see what it would run. We're running, isn't there an AC unit in each window, in each office?
Yeah, some may be more than one, but yeah, we're just running window air all over the place.
And it's tube and wire, or it's a
Too.
non-tube wire,
Yeah.
so it's
Kind of scary up there in the attic when we go there.
and I know we just spent some money on the boiler here, a few years ago, I think, but I'd hate for that thing to go out and have to have repairs. So I just think it's time that we just get a bid at least and see what we got to do and get a direction. So that's kind of what we did. So
And still those historic preservation.
yeah, there's a lot of grants out there for it. I'm gonna check in on that too. And I was telling Jessica about it and check on the tax credit stuff like that. See if you don't have to do a complete repair. You can do minor repairs. It's gonna make the building last or whatever, and they'll give you credit for it. So well, I'm gonna look into all that. So
Yeah.
Is that everything?
I think so.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll say,
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
am I supposed to give this back to Gary when I can get done?
Yeah, I think so.
See you guys later.